Ladies, gents, and everyone under the sun, welcome back for another episode of the Container Podcast, episode 23, baby. I'm here with my boys, Kyle
Hello.
and Jackie.
Everyone.
I hope that you guys have been having a good evening. You're joining us for a review of It Takes Two, a game recommended by none other than Kyle. Could you remind us why or how you came into playing this game and recommending it to us?
So I had just seen it online, like on YouTube and reviews and everything, and I clicked on it, the trailer, looked at the trailer. It looked super cool. There was some sequences that were showed in the trailer. I forget honestly which ones there, but yeah, it was pretty fun. So I decided, okay, I'll give it a try. And then when it came out, the reviews people were saying it was amazing. So I bought it and I played it with my girlfriend, and we had a great time. And so I knew you guys were aware about it, and so I said to myself, you guys, I think we're wanting to play it or thinking of playing it. So I said, you know what, I'll propose it as a homework, and you guys will be able to play it, and we'll be able to talk about it on the podcast.
Nice. So yeah, just like you said, essentially Jackie and I played through the game. It took longer than we thought it would take, right, Jackie?
Yeah, it took more than 1 month because I think the podcast where we talked about, when the homework was given, I think it was like at the beginning of June, and now we're at the beginning of July. So at least it took 1 month to complete this whole game. But in the meantime, we're busy, and we did the podcast on E3. But it just it was a bigger game than expected.
Much bigger. I was estimating it to be around 8 hours, and yeah, man, it was double that easy.
Yeah, so when you guys go on our channel and you check out the gameplay playthrough, I think it's in the second one I go like, well, this is going to be like the last playthrough, so thank you guys for sticking in, but I guess it took a lot more than that. I think we had to do maybe 3 or 4 other sessions, since it was, as we said, way much longer.
But did we have fun though?
Yeah, of course. I think we're going to talk about that. I think you can hear it when you look at the playthroughs. It's definitely a great experience, and yeah, I think we'll get deeper into that so that everyone can understand why.
Yeah, right now. If you want to, Kyle, you can go through the chapter list. I also have it under my eyes, so it's just like you prefer.
Yeah, sure. Let's start right away. So the first one, which is I call it a tutorial chapter. That's where you learn a bit of here and there how to control and everything. And I think what this game aims to be is that it was made for people that haven't had much experience with video games, right? So they had to have a pretty in-depth tutorial, and it is called The Shed. So if you guys remember, they're divorcing, and the daughter cries, blah, and they become these little tiny puppets, I guess, or
Dolls, yeah.
dolls. Yeah. One he's made of clay, and she's made of wood. So, like, you guys, your opinion on
The Shed. The Shed, man. It was a very good chapter. To me, the level was extremely easy because, as you said, it was meant for to be a tutorial of some sorts and to be welcoming from to all kinds of players, all kinds of level of play. Not very timing sensitive or anything. not very. We didn't think too much, and yeah, it was actually the best kind of tutorial for me because they didn't lock you out of your core options. So immediately I started trying out everything I could do. I had a double jump, I could dash mid-air. There was a boost dash if you time your dashes correctly in between. You could have an extended dash. You can also not crawl but like crouch, and the game did a very good job at making us do most of these actions. But as like I said, it didn't really force it. But sometimes, the level design made it so that you could do anything pretty much, and I loved it for that. The freedom was something that I really liked about the shed.
How about you, Jackie?
Yeah, it was a great intro. I think we you get the sense of what it's going to be for the rest of the game. There's a lot of different mechanics, and you see that it's going to be a very diverse type of game. So you're going to have different environments, and you're going to have different gameplay mechanics. So yeah, I just think it was a great way to introduce the mini bosses and the, the different environments that we would see in this game because uh, just in that shed alone, there's different sections. You've got the sections with the vacuums, you got it with the toolbox, you got it with the electric wires and everything. So there's a lot of different environments in only that section. And I thought maybe that the rest of the game would look maybe a bit empty, but it did not. It's just the tip of the iceberg, and that's what's really impressive.
Exactly. As you heard me talk mostly about gameplay, it was in a shed. We had toolboxes, vacuum cleaners, and you could manipulate the vacuum cleaner to suck your partner in and eject him in a certain direction. And yeah, there were like many different puzzles, let's say. It was very simple. I don't know if we can call it really puzzles, except for one, which actually made us scratch our heads for a long time. And it was the unique power up that Cody and May, the main characters, get. It was a hammer and a nail for Cody. May had the hammer. That's the one I got. And Cody had nails that were used in some kind of way as platforms, but it was also a system with ammo, and you can call it back. But it seemed, if Jackie wants to explain how he understood the callback function, because you can shoot and call back the ammo, right? So you recycle the same nails. So yeah, if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, well, it's just that there's one section where it's like me who's doing most of the job. So you've got May on the other side of the room, and she's got to jump on different platforms. But the platforms kind of go inside the wall, and you cannot use them if I don't nail them to the wall. So what I was thinking was that I had to shoot the nails in order to keep the platform up. But I thought that I could recall only the last nail that I would have put on the wall. So I didn't know that you could just aim at the nail that you wanted back so that it would come back. So I thought that it was a much more complex puzzle than it actually was, because you could just take whatever nail you needed and then just put it the place you wanted it, and then when you need it back, you just aim at it and it comes back. So
So much
that's where we struggled.
overthinking. It was
Yeah,
crazy.
I was overthinking the shit out of this one.
You were like,
I
yo,
really
yo,
was.
I found the correct sequence. And
Yeah,
then
exactly. I was looking for a sequence and everything, but
and then
then
Kyle,
Kyle
you
was
came
like,
through.
he was like, you can just aim at them, and I was like, oh shit, you're for real? God damn! Since the start, I was thinking, it's the last one that comes back, and then at one point, what happened is that it wasn't the last one that I threw that came back, so I was very confused. At that point, I was like, "What is it? Just random? It just come back random?" So yeah.
Like
Well, it's just yeah.
you understood it one way, I understood it the other way. I thought that it was in order of nail shot. So if you shoot 3 nails and let's number them 1, 2, 3, it was going to be 1, then 2, then 3 that's gonna come back. But
Yeah, and I thought 3, 2, 1, but it was neither of those. It was just like the one you're aiming at, or the closest one to where you're aiming at.
exactly. It was hilarious. It was so hard. We spent so much time trying to like execute it because you think about the sequence for a couple of minutes, but then you have to put it into practice, and it was very hard because of the consistency issues that Jackie was talking about. It was not the one that he was expecting to get. And yeah,
Because my brain just went in mode like, this is a video game. This is going to be a good puzzle. So I just passed over that whole. This is going to be very simple. I just went to like, okay, this is going to be a complex puzzle. I have to think about this in a kind of a Zelda or more complex puzzle video games. But it wasn't. It wasn't.
yeah, we
But
had
yeah,
to calm down a little bit.
yeah. But it was funny. You guys can check out on the playthrough. It's all there. It's that's what a bit sad and funny about this whole experience is that you can all see our mistakes and our moments of confusion on that tape.
Which you
So
saw, right, Kyle?
Yeah, I watched everything.
yeah,
I
you
think
watch almost everything. Yeah.
I think I have maybe 1 or 2 sequences that I didn't see you guys play there. So
Mhm.
I think I know here and there what you guys enjoyed more or less there. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
one thing though, in the first chapter, we meet a certain character.
Oh,
Now, I'd like your opinion on him. Did you guys like him? What did you guys think of Mr. or not Mr. Dr. Hakim?
I'm gonna be 100% honest. I heard that name and I was not expecting that voice. I was like, bro, Hakim is not a Latino name usually, but yeah,
Yeah.
man, he was Hispanic and a lot of personality. Is trying to fix the couple, right? The Book of Love. I don't know. Some people might have found him annoying, but I think he was a good comic relief.
Yeah, it was of good taste. It wasn't too much. It was just just enough.
Yeah, because so I'm have the same opinion in the beginning. Uh, the when I had seen the trailer and everything, people in the comments were saying like, he's fucking annoying and whatnot. And it's true that, I don't think he's the most, like I'm not like, oh yeah, I need more Dr. Hakim in my life, right? But I found he was quite enjoyable, he was fun here and there, and he wasn't there that much, right? So even if you didn't like him, you didn't have to see him constantly, he was probably there for, I don't know, had a couple dialogues, and then 2 minutes later he's gone. So I like that about it there, that even if you liked him, he was there enough, and if you didn't like him, he was there just enough that he wouldn't completely annoy you.
Yeah. Do you have anything to say maybe about the boss battle, or we should move on to the next chapter?
I think we should. Well, I don't know for you guys. I don't have anything to say.
I mean, it was the introduction section. It was a good boss, but there's nothing really important or you know particularly interesting about that one. I think there are a lot of better bosses that are coming afterwards.
Yeah, but special mention to the toolbox. I thought that the toolbox was very, in terms of what it proposed for gameplay and what it was in the story.
Which one did you prefer, toolbox or the vacuum cleaner?
To me, toolbox
Vacuum
by
cleaner.
far.
Same.
I prefer the vacuum cleaner.
Okay.
The reason why I prefer the toolbox is because it was slicing up the area of play. It was doing a lot of different stuff to make life more challenging. The vacuum cleaner felt like I don't know, man. It really felt like trying not to sleep while you drive your car. Like, it was hard, but not in the good way.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So how about this? Let's do a S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier. What would you put
Okay.
the shed in?
The shed would be mid tier at
Yeah, I would say
best.
B tier.
Okay, I agree with you. I agree with you.
At
All
best,
right.
yeah, I'm generous
Now
mid tier. Yeah,
let's go to the next one. The tree.
the
Dun, dun,
tree.
dun.
It wasn't the tree of life, but it was a tree, all right.
It was the
Yeah.
I could we would call it the I'd say the squirrel tree.
Yep,
So that's where you get the grappling hook for the first time.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you leave the shed, you have they give you the grappling hook. It was a pretty simple concept. It wasn't a very hard grapple hook. Just press a button and you're grappled. Uh, I I still enjoyed it. I like that they reused it throughout the whole game. That it wasn't, I like that they had those little power ups for each level, but
Mhm.
you still had your main gadgets, kind of, right?
Yeah.
That you kept through the whole thing. But let's go on for the tree. You got, or if it had any comments on the grappling hook.
Yeah, the grappling hook was so ingrained in me that I thought that we had it from the shed, from the get go.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
it's not the case, right?
No, no, no. The first time you receive it is when you arrive, you get out of the shed and you see the binoculars and they tell, oh, Rose is there,
Yeah,
and then you
yeah.
go, I need to cross. That
Exactly.
was
I remember now. Yeah. It's a great sequence moving on from the shed to the tree and then what happens in the tree and then getting out of the tree. All of these parts are very, very well done. To be honest, no, I'm not gonna spoil my rating, but I think very highly of the tree.
okay. So yeah, so go on. Well, what did you guys like, disliked about the tree sequence?
Bruh, my special power up, I had a gun that shot matches, and Jackie had a gun that shot resin, and it was the explosive kind of resin. So it was very fun to shoot at the resin that was being built up by Jackie to get some massive explosions and some puzzles we had to use the weight of the resin, so he had to shoot more in a section to make it drop and lift up something else. As for myself, it was mostly shooting on stuff, so yeah, but it was cool since you learn quickly with those kinds of power ups that your power up is complementary with the other the other guy. So
When you were playing it, did you sometimes, let's say for the example for the shed, did any of you go like, oh, I would have preferred being the other character, or you enjoyed your power ups or whatever?
maybe Jackie can speak more about it, but as for myself, I think the whole game except maybe one chapter that I was jealous, but nah, man, I was good.
If not, you
Yeah.
think you preferred your power ups?
Yeah,
How about you, Jackie?
I think it's the same. I don't think there's maybe there's like one moment where I didn't like it, but I think it was just like both of them I didn't like them. But
Okay.
it just feels like what I think they've done right in that game is that whether you're May or you are Cody. Well, I haven't played May, but I looked at what Momo was doing, obviously, and it looked like I would have enjoyed being either of the two characters. I think they did a great job at giving you your moment in each level where you're doing the most important job, and then it switches back to the other character, and now you're doing like the you're being more supportive of the other character,
Mhm.
and I think it's just fine this way. I think it's a great way to to make the two players participate in an equal manner. My bad.
Fair
So yeah,
enough. Fair enough.
yeah, yeah. So I liked having the reason because this way I could shoot at the bees and everything and just then dodge away while Momo had to do the dangerous part of shooting at it and not die.
I wanted to ask you, did you guys like the way the death system worked?
Uh, I think
Oh, that's a
it's
good question.
very, very noob friendly
Yeah.
and respects the time of the players. Because if we went back to a system that was very old school with a finite number of lives, and then you reach a game over and you're kicked back to the start of the level, or worse, the entire game, that would be a very different experience. And yeah, I just think that the fact that you had to stay alive while the other respawns, or if both die at the same time, or like just a little bit too late before the guy can respawn, um, you get booted back to the previous checkpoint. It's pretty damn good. I really liked it.
Yeah,
Good.
because you don't want it to be too hard, I guess, for this type of game. I don't think you need it to be, a definite amount of deaths. Otherwise, you have to start the level again. I think since it's a co-op game where, as Momo said, it's a bit casual friendly. You don't want the challenges to be too hard, but on my end, I think I would have preferred maybe more challenges in terms of puzzle instead of on platforming and stuff. Because
Mm,
I'm fine with dealing with puzzles because you have less chances of dying than platforming. Because platforming sometimes is just it comes out of nowhere and you die.
fair
So
enough.
yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Obviously, I've died much more times than much more many times than Momo, but that's another story.
You think so?
And I
I'm
think
pretty sure.
Okay,
I
okay.
I think in the tree, maybe in the shed they had it, but in the tree I know for a fact that they had a couple mini games, right? Where instead of collaborating, you were playing 1v1.
Oh,
Did you
yes.
did you guys enjoy those little sequences?
I love
Yeah,
them, man.
all of them, all of them.
Maybe not all of them, because some were very limited, but I don't know. It was just it's some kind of subjective taste, right? Every
Mhm.
time one of the mini games might connect with you more than another. For the tree, the one that I remember the most was the one where we were at opposite ends of the map, and we had like targets to shoot at, and every time you
Yes. Yeah.
connected with the target, it turned around and went straight into the direction of the opponent. And
Yeah.
if you couldn't stop it from coming too close, the guy gets a point. So it was very challenging because we were both on controller and we kind of suck at aiming, especially me. And then I told him, yo, rematch. And I switched to my mouse and I destroyed him. And I was like, bro, it doesn't even feel bad. I feel good about it.
I think it's another argument in favor of keyboard, mouse and keyboard, better than controllers when it comes to shooting games. it was such a great way to demonstrate that fact again with an experiment.
Live experiment.
Yeah. So yeah. The first match it went well for me because I think I'm more used to using controllers for shooting games. But yeah, definitely the second one when you use your keyboard and mouse, I had no chance. It was a complete one-way match. No
We'll,
arguments there.
we'll talk about other one-way matches. I'm thinking about yesterday, the chess game. It was hilarious.
Oh, the chess game. Yes. All right. So yeah.
Essentially, yeah, we moved on from that place and got deeper into the tree. It was mostly fighting against wasps, right?
Yeah, and I guess at the end of the wasp, the tree section, or I guess almost towards the end, you have a big boss. Did you guys like the queen bee boss?
Did I enjoy the wasp boss? I think that it was a little bit too long. But other than that, it was a good boss. I wish it had a little bit less health so that it went more quickly.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I think we can go ahead and go to the highlight of the tree, the section that is. I think it's right after the one with the wasp queen.
Yep.
It's when one's on the plane and one's driving the plane.
Yeah.
It was amazing, man. We
So,
it was at that moment that I truly understood why we had this game being played online and I still have access to the split screen and to the vision of my friend. Because I was being attacked, we were being attacked from the rear, but he needed me to like shoot at the obstacles that were in front too. And sometimes I forgot and he was like, yo. It was hilarious.
and then there was another sequence right after.
Oh yes.
So yeah, you can go ahead, Momo, because it was your sequence, it was your moment of glory.
I thought it would be a little bit more glorious, but essentially the squirrel people had a general. He was portrayed a little bit like Solid Snake, and yeah, man, he jumped on the plane as we were trying to escape, and he was like, "Bro, I am not gonna let you get away with this." And then we had to resort the problem with diplomacy. So the gameplay turned into a select the right answer to convince the other person to stop what they're trying to do and let us leave in peace. That's how it went, right?
I don't think so. I think there was maybe a bit more violence involved.
Because violence is always the answer, baby. It was amazing, man. It turned into a 2D fighter, and I had a single button to punch, one to jump, and one to evade. I thought I had a block button, so the first round I was trying to block and parry, I was trying to do shit, and
No, I think you just died because you're trash at fighting games.
I think we have life proof, caught in 4K, that you are in fact trash at fighting games. I think we have that now.
it was 720p. But I'm not gonna disagree with the other point.
And I'm gonna say something. My girlfriend, she got it on the first try. So
She wasn't trying to block, bro. She wasn't trying to block.
yep. That's all I'm gonna say. I think we can go to the next one. Am I right, Jackie?
Yo, every fighting game player, if they hear what was just said, they would be like, yeah, man, we know who the real noobs are. The ones that are here mashing, and criticizing people for trying to blog. What?
So that's one thing I think that what I really enjoyed from It Takes Two is that they have a lot of references to a lot of games,
Yes.
and instead of just making a little reference or anything, they actually change the gameplay, right? Where they change the
Camera angle,
camera
controls.
exactly, and that I think it's even if it's, of course, like you can't take this fighting game and compare it to Smash. You know what I mean? It's like it's not the same level, right? Or Tekken or
You
Street Fighter.
actually said fighting game, and the first game you named was Smash.
No, I know, but
I am
still
impressed.
think it's a fighting.
I am
I
impressed.
still think it's a fighting game there.
Well, you see,
I don't
there
know.
is a debate about it because some people say it's not. So
Well-
Why wouldn't it be?
it's for another podcast. Let's go.
Anyways, so of course it's not the same level, right, of intricacy and everything, but it's cheeky, right? It's just like, here you go, so I really enjoyed that of it. I
Yeah.
found that was a fun twist to it.
Definitely.
And honestly, when that sequence arrived, I thought, okay, this is because at the start of the game, you told us, okay, Momo, you have to play May, and Jackie, you have to play Cody. So I was like, all right, so there's going to be a moment in that game where we're going to enjoy like both our part. And when we were done with that section, I was like, okay, so this was the section where Kaya wanted us to play, these different roles. And I thought it was going to be the last, but it turns out that there are many, many sections afterwards where we like Momo and I were thinking, we're like, damn, Kyle really like made a good choice by telling us to play this character and play this character.
He called it out.
Yeah, he knew.
It was really mainly because of this one there. I found that exactly it was well that there was other sequences, but this was the sequence where when you guys were saying, oh yeah, we would like to play it, I was like, it has to, just for the fact that you're just there, going in 3D, and then next thing you know, 2D fighting game, let's go.
Fight on. It was amazing.
I don't know if it's good game design, but maybe it was intentional that the sections that a kind of player that prefers fighting game will prefer these types of characters for the subsequent sequences. But I don't know. Maybe it's over my head and everything, but maybe it was intentional that these sections were for these types of players, and the players playing Cody were more like for.
We
maybe,
really should like Google it up if the developers meant certain people to play Cody and certain people to play May. It might be, how do we say, intentional.
Yeah, it might. But yeah, so yeah, we can move on to the next chapter.
Before maybe your rankings.
Oh yes, it's an A for me.
That's a top
section.
tier. Yep. To me, it's the highest mark I can give it. So top tier.
What do you mean? Well, you can give it an S tier, but
Because I don't have the scale, right? Is there an F tier? So I'm gonna say
no,
top tier. Top tier, high tier, mid tier, and low tier. That's how I rank it.
No, but go like S, A, B, C, D.
Okay, if you want to, man, I don't give a shit about your letters, man. Why is the top?
No, we just. I'm satisfied with that. Jackie.
It's just to compare, guys. All right.
Next one, Rose's Room.
Yeah.
So
now, yeah.
Dang, son. So I just read that my man Joseph Ferris said that they recommend experienced players to take on the role of Cody, given that he's often the character that facilitates May's action. May is ideal for less experienced player as she is often in charge of blowing up stuff and is given the slightly less complex tasks.
Yeah, and maybe it's a bit quote unquote sexist of that there, because it's
Yeah.
usually
Whoops.
when like my first experience playing the game was exactly that. It was I was the one playing Cody, and my girlfriend was playing May, right? So usually, in theory, not all the time, but sometimes, it's the girlfriend, right? The girl that has less experience with with video, and that was the case with my situation, right? So
Yeah.
I guess
How can you say that? How can you say that?
But no, no,
it's the
no.
truth. Her video games are called Animal Crossing, right? So it's a bit more limiting in
I'm
terms.
really shocked by your comments there, but I won't say anything about that.
I want to
Fair.
say something about it. Because, you know,
But
there is a thing that as not playing as the gender you are assigned at birth. Like, if I wanted to play as May, like, without your recommendation, I was like, nah, man, fuck Cody, I want to play May.
yeah, fair enough. You could have.
So, yeah,
But
man.
the reason why I chose you playing May was not because of the fighting sequence. Because I know that Jackie's better at video games than you are.
Maybe
Have,
that's why I died more often.
have fun,
I
man.
think that's
Have
why.
fun, because we're gonna get to that part of the review where your favorite game is gonna come to the table. So have fun.
Just kidding. Yeah, I'm just kidding. You. All right. So,
Mhm.
Rose's room. So Rose's room, I think, was the one where there was more than just one team to it, right?
Yeah.
Because you have the place where you go. How do you call it?
Was it the dinosaur and then the pirates?
There's the dinosaur, the pirates with the boat. After that, there's the, I'm sure we're gonna talk about, but the infamous scene with the queen,
Oh my
and
god.
and then there was also Moon Baboon.
Oh yes, it was
Yes.
all in the same. That was
Yeah.
very good. It was back to back excellent chapters.
So how about, let's start with the, let's say, the boating. Did you guys like the boat?
It was quite difficult at first because we wanted to not only move the ship from angling to right, left, but also move it forwards and backwards, right? So joining the two was a little bit complicated. But then when we understood for the boss battle, I'm a little bit too forward here, but we understood that we didn't have to navigate forward and backward. We only needed to rotate the ship. And essentially, every time we said aim at the left target, we knew that someone had to go forward and someone had to go back, just like you would control a boat or a kayak, or I don't know what you would control like that. So, yeah, I thought it was good. Not great, good.
It was difficult at the start, but eventually we managed. It was I think it was fine. Like we managed to control the boat pretty good. So yeah, I like personally I liked it. I liked that sequence with the big squid and uh, and the boat.
It was one of the better sequences of that stage, but not of the game. So that's why I'm a little bit less enthusiastic towards it.
Fair enough.
See it.
How about what was the other one? My mind just went for a blank.
Yeah, so I think you start. There's like these level in quote unquote space
Yeah,
where you have the mechanic of I think Cody can go like big and very small.
Yeah, yeah, that was the with Moon Baboon.
Yeah, with Moon Baboon exactly. And I don't remember what was May's power up at that point.
Her boots, she could walk on walls.
Oh
yeah,
yeah, that's right.
special
So yeah,
surfaces that I could walk on.
this is one of my favorite sequences
Yeah.
of the game with the platforming puzzles. I really liked it the way you had to synchronize and go this go a certain way, and then you use the power up to help your partner go through and everything. I really like that sequence. It was a lot of fun, and it was longer than expected. Also, there were a lot of different puzzles with the portals and everything.
Like
So
space,
yeah, it was.
space. When
Mhm.
when we did it, when it ended, I was like, "Yo, this is the end of the chapter,"
Yeah, same. Yeah,
because it
exactly.
was so complex and a lot of content. Not maybe not complex, but it had a lot of content, and I was surprised. It was at that moment that I understood that this was not a 4 to 8 hour game.
Yeah, there are different great sequences there, and as you said, I thought it was so long that I thought, yeah, this must be the end, but it wasn't. It wasn't.
No, no,
We
no.
weren't close.
The best
So
was
yeah,
yet to come too, so that's good.
yeah. Also, yeah, you're right. Well, I really like that sequence. To be honest, I really like that sequence.
Yeah, same.
Afterwards,
I think that it was. I think it's one of my favorite sequence out of the whole game.
yeah,
I'll change my vote. I will put the tree at high tier and this one at top tier.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
yeah, yeah. I
And
agree with that. Because afterwards, there's so many great sequences with the toys and the little numbers, and then you've got
the fidget spinners.
the fidget spinners. You got the fidget spinners. You got the what are you called? The the small town with the planes, and we had trouble finding the last character. Remember that?
Yeah, it was bad.
And then there are the dinosaurs, and then you have to build the road so that I can with my triceratops I can go around and everything. So yeah, there are a lot of different themed sequences in that chapter, and it's very impressive what they did. I think I remember because it was at that moment that I thought, oh my goodness, there are so many different environments.
Ex-
They really they went out. This is a big game. This is a big game, and
like
there's so many details and
it
colors.
has a big budget because I was like, yo, how could you make that many assets that you will only use
Mhm.
once? I
Yeah.
was
And
very
isn't
surprised.
that where you go top down
Uh,
and you play as a wizard?
The wizard is a bit later, but it's in that chapter because it's when you enter the castle.
Yeah, exactly. I found that was my favorite, one of my favorite sequence of the game when they go top down and you're like a Diablo style there.
yeah, action
Mhm.
RPG Diablo style. It was super cool, man. And when I
Right.
got my power up revealed, I was like, yo, Kyle, you're my boy, man.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same for me because that's if we say that the combat sequence, the fighting game sequence with the squirrel was like that first moment when we went, oh, okay, Kyle did a good choice of assigning us these characters. This like was the second time where we went like, oh, okay, you did another great choice because I think we liked both of our power ups because Momo is more of a close combat guy. I'm more of a keep it distance and use magic and everything. So I don't know. I think you guys can watch the playthrough at that moment when the camera just like went back and it went in that Diablo mode. I was like, wow, I was really amazed because it was unexpected. It really was unexpected,
And then
and it was a
we
pleasant
learned,
surprise.
right? We learned that this game we have to expect the unexpected. It's always
Hmm.
going to surprise us.
Yes,
Like
yes,
nothing
definitely.
is going to be out of the ordinary. I was like, yo, if
Hmm.
there is a section where we fly, I would not be surprised. If there is a section where we drive something, cars or something, I will not be surprised. If there's a section like name it, they did almost everything you could think of in terms of what's been done in video games and adapted it to a co-op format. It was really, really a pleasant experience.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that.
So we
And
can move on to the next sub chapter, like multiple parts, because it's quite big.
Well, I think after you do the part where it's kind of that RPG style 2D game, I think afterwards it's the infamous scene, as Kyle said.
It's the
It's
queen.
that.
The
Yeah, it's the
queen
queen.
scene.
Oh my, the queen, the beautiful um, plushie, the elephant plushie. And I was like, yo, man, don't you like elephants, Jackie? And he's like,
Elephants are my favorite animal.
I was like, man, I can feel that we're going to do something
R.I.P.
bad. And they were talking about it, right? They were like, yo, if we manage to make the little girl cry, we will restore ourselves back to normal. How can we make her cry? Destroy her favorite toy slash plushie. And
And
it was horrific, man, because the voice, the voice that they gave, the voice actress that did the elephant plushie, the queen, what an incredible job. The moment she spoke, I felt bad. I felt super bad, bro. What about you?
I was floored. I was like, what the fuck is this? Because at the start, just the language that they use at the start, they're like, we're going to kill the queen. We're going to kill the queen. Yeah, all right. We're going to kill it. And then they arrive in the the room of the queen, and then she starts speaking. You're like, sounds like a child. And then it's not bad enough that it's not like, oh, we're going to kill it, we're going to stab it or whatever. It's much more horrifying than that. It's just they drag her to the edge of the whatever it is they are on,
And she
and they
tries to escape first, right? And we're
yeah,
like, nah, you can't escape. We destroy her leg or something. It was
they
bad,
tear
bro.
up they tear up her ear, and
Yeah.
afterwards they just throw it down.
And
I was completely floored by that scene. I was like, how did that end up in that game?
how, like you said,
Yeah.
how? And I was forced to do it. As I was pushing the analog stick forward, I was like, I am such a terrible person. This is horrendous.
I thought this all brought me back to. I'm sorry for bringing this up right now, but it brought me back to when Neil Druckmann, when talking about The Last of Us Part Two, was like, when you're going to play the game, there's going to be sections where you won't like what you're doing, and you won't want to do it. And never before have I felt a scene representing that as much as this one. So this one was over the top with me saying to myself, "Oh my goodness, this is horrible. I don't know why we're doing this, and how come is this in this friendly co-op game there is such an horribles? Why?"
Well said. And Joseph Faris better than Druckmann confirmed. Thank you. We can move on.
I'll get you for that one later. All right. The next section. So yeah, another great section, the cuckoo clock, with the time mechanic of I think Cody is like going back in time, and May is
Teleporting.
I don't know what is she doing. What?
Teleporting. I could teleport.
Oh yeah, no, you can do a double of yourself, right?
Like I put a hologram in a place.
Oh yeah, and you teleport, yeah.
And then I teleport back to the place I put it.
Okay. So yeah, before we go, yeah, okay. So yeah, this section, I mean, it was. Actually, we haven't said like for the previous level. Well, we've said it. I think we got agree it's a top tier level. The chapter with the queen and the what is the monkey called again? Baboon, space baboon.
Moon baboon.
Moon
Baboon, yeah.
Baboon. What a sweet
Yes.
name, man. You hear that and you're like, this is such a innocent name given by a child. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
It
can't-
warms my heart. I was like, ah, that's really cool.
I can't wait to kill it. So yeah, I would say it's an S tier section for me. Like it's top tier,
Yep.
definitely.
Yep.
So yeah, when we get to the cuckoo clock section, there's the worst platforming of this whole game, with the fucking hell tower that took me forever
Yeah.
to finish. I was so close at one point I was so close to finish it, and I just missed my jump, and I came back to the very bottom, and
All
it
the way
reminded me of
down.
that yeah, and it reminded me of the game what's it called with the hammer and the guy in the small pot. What's it called?
God of
A
War,
long way?
PS4.
No, not that one. uh, but anyway, yeah, it reminded
Getting
me of
over
that.
it. Getting over it.
Getting over it. Yeah,
Yo,
I
if
really
you
get
saw, if you saw
you
what
guys
we
saw me-
saw on the screen, we were pissing ourselves. You guys can watch the VOD on the Container Podcast channel. Oh my god, man. We were like, man, this guy went from zero, like really bad at platforming, to doing magic tricks, or I don't know, man.
He was doing more complicated jumps than needed.
Yeah, because I was in my head I was like, this is going to be challenging, so I have to be up to the challenge. So I thought it was complicated, but it's the same thing as the nail in the shed. It's that I thought it was way more complicated than it was.
But
When looking
there
back
is more than that to me. The fact, I don't know if it was true to what you were doing, but the fact you chose to orient the camera in that specific way, which was like away from the platform and the tower, we were like, bro, what the fuck is he doing? He's making life so much harder for him. It's crazy.
well, now it's all on footage. We've got all the footage on the channel, so yeah. There goes my pride.
No, the thing is, it might not be true, because there is also that fact that it's streaming it, it's trying to comprehend what you're doing, it's not one to one. Like, it's impossible that you did what we saw. It's impossible, straight up. If you go and watch it, you would be like, nah, man, that was not like I did it. Because if it was, yo, my. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I remember it was lagging and all, but I don't remember it was that bad. So yeah, I'll have to check the footage again.
You really have to. It was amazing. So, the cuckoo clock, clones, rewinding time, boss battle, that was very Michael Bay-esque. Lots of explosions, lots of. I think my favorite part of the cuckoo clock was getting into the cuckoo. Not getting into the cuckoo clock. Like,
With the
unlocking.
birds?
Yeah, the birds. Flying with the birds was really fun. I loved it.
I mean, personally, I preferred like the part where you're inside and there's that sequence of the pieces falling down at different moments, so you have to reverse time and then go forward and go backwards so that you can shift the places of the different pieces so that you can climb up the clock. Like that part for me, it really stick with me because I remember it. I still remember it.
Yeah,
When
I,
everything
re-
is exploding
That was actually pretty fun, yeah.
I remember it, but not fondly, because it took us a lot of time to understand at which point of time we had to go so that I could
Yeah.
make the jump. And I was like, so blasé. I was like, bro, I just want to make the jump. Let's go, man. It's kind of slow and all. I like when it's more active.
It took some time, but eventually, like we managed it. It wasn't that complicated. Like we said, it's a casual game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say that part as well. A tier for me,
So high tier
like
for you.
high tier. Yeah,
Would I put
I-
it at high tier? I think I would put it at mid tier.
mid tier. I see.
So a little less than.
Okay.
You see, this one was my favorite aesthetic. I love the aesthetic of the whole thing. The town, it was a bit creepy in some parts,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I really enjoyed that of it.
No, it was
Yeah.
really beautiful. I enjoyed shooting the fireworks, the birds, like nighttime. I really enjoyed most of it, to be honest. But subjectively speaking,
Yeah,
it was not my
100%.
favorite. I think it's part because of the unique gameplay mechanics that didn't really mm, mesh with me too well. I didn't enjoy it that much.
All right, so let's go to the next one, which was Snow Globe.
S
Snow
tier.
Globe.
S tier, yeah.
S
I
tier.
also
Yeah,
It's with the two magnets there.
highest tier.
Great. Yeah, great. It was just great. I really like that section. Uh, I don't know if I can say it's my favorite, but I think I would say that it's my favorite. Like from what I remember, it was a great one because you have two ends of a magnet, and then there's really a lot of fun mechanics to play with in that level. I really like that. I really like that. It was again something very impressive and something very surprising. Because at that point in some games you're like, okay, all right, I've seen everything. I've seen everything that the game can offer me. But they still come up with different ideas, and that's what I love about this game is that they're exploring so many different gameplay mechanics that it's always refreshing from level to level. You're always kind of feeling that you're in something new. You know, at one point I was thinking to myself, well, it's kind of a shame that you don't keep the tools that you were given for the subsequent levels, and that you can build up bigger and bigger puzzles. But then I thought back on it, and I was like, maybe it's a good thing. Maybe that's what's keeping the game so fresh and so you know not having the same pace and all.
Yeah,
It's always something new. It's always different. You always have to think in a different way because the problems are not only are they not the same, but you cannot resolve them the same way with the same tools. So I think it's what makes this game very very good is that all these are not only different in environments, which is it's aesthetically beautiful, but it's different. It's different at its core gameplay. So yeah, this is my love for It Takes Two.
yeah. I read, like, I posted a
Hmm.
tweet to maybe encourage people to check out the stream, and in
Hmm.
it I put in quotation marks that it was the best co-op video game of the decade. So it would be to 2010s until now, the way it was reviewed, right? And I don't know. At first, I was like, I don't know about it, man. Is it the best? But now I must
I find
play.
it's the most how you call it, uh like they do good things with the it made me think a lot of like Portal, you know what I mean, where it's like the gameplay they make you have to be two to do it. It's not like, for example, Borderlands, right, where it's a co-op game, but it's just you shooting the same person, right? There's no
Yeah,
real co-op mechanic.
yeah,
So that's I really enjoyed of it.
exactly. I share the same opinion pretty much, and we might be able to move on to like one of the mechanics that I preferred in the snow globe. It was those skating sections. It was not a particular tool that we had, like a special power up for the level. It was something like quality of life. Because if I remember well, the power up for the level was the magnets, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so to me, the skating felt great. Like, there is a lot of times that I talk about about the pleasure to play, like really the feel of it, the feedback you get from what you press on the controller, and the skating part was done expertly well. I think it's the best skating I've seen in a video game ever.
you were going fast, and all of that. Same thing. I really enjoyed it.
Did we
And
go under the water too? Cause it was
yeah. You would go underwater.
you know how people like the meme, the water level. Everybody hates the water level, no matter the game. In Zelda, the water temple, everybody hates it. In Super Mario, the water levels, everybody hates it. Because it's like the one level that behaves differently fundamentally from the rest of the game and is less thought of, like worked on, and it's like you feel it's a downgrade. But in a game that is ever changing, I actually liked it. I liked the water level.
Yeah, same thing. I usually hate water levels. Kingdom Hearts has one of the worst fucking water levels I've ever witnessed in my life, and I hate it with passion. And this one made me actually go, water levels could be pretty cool, And I'm not saying it was my favorite sequence of the game, but I find that it was, you know,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
well executed. Yeah.
Did you enjoy it particularly, Jackie, or it was an okay sequence?
No, it was a good sequence, but it's of course it's not my favorite sequence of the chapter or left alone the whole game.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
for sure.
Ju-
But
just
it's a good sequence.
just after that sequence, we have this slippery slopes, and it was like a action part where we could skate, and
Yeah.
as I said, the skating mechanic, they they did something really good with it, and you could combine it with the magnets. Like we had, I don't know how you call them. It's like checkpoints for ski, and essentially people when they do that sport, they go and touch it, and they slalom left and right, touching them. And for us, every time we met one, we could press R2, if I remember well, and pull ourselves closer to it, so you could like accelerate very fast and kind of keep that speed for a while if you were good, right? And I was going so fast, it was insane. Like I finished the level, and I think Jackie, it took him a good amount of time to catch back because he was not doing all the momentum keeping and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
just to add that the skating was really good. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I prefer the part with the wind when you had to hide from the wind to go up.
Yeah, that was very slow, but it was thoughtful. So at least there was that. The puzzle at the end, it happened like 2 or 3 times where we had to attract each other at the same time. Like
Yeah.
that was pretty fun. That was smart. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
We can move on, Kyle, I think.
Yeah. So the next one, the garden.
Boy, oh boy, we do have very fresh memories of that level because we finished
Yep.
it just yesterday, right? And
Wanna go first?
yeah, yeah. I think it's the worst level, man. It's bad.
I agree.
It's really really bad, and the level design is poor, and the power-ups are even poorer, man. It was really bad. Like they gave us a spider, they gave us a sigh and a whip. Jackie could transform into plants. I could use a hose and like shoot some water at stuff. And I don't know, man. It all felt so uninspired and unfun. Especially the combat. It was horrendous, bro.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
the fighting sequences in that chapter. Sorry, Kyle.
no, go ahead,
Cut
go
you off.
ahead.
But yeah, this is just what I wanted to say. Like the fighting sequences were the worst one of the game in that chapter.
I don't know what to say more than that, like to convey how bad the fighting was. But essentially, some enemy types require the cooperation of us both. Like they would use a shield to block my attacks, so Jackie would have to whip it, block it, and stop it in its tracks, and I go around and I hit it in the back, right? But the problem is that for every enemy like that, there are 10 little enemies that require more than a single hit to kill. And it becomes like in a game where there is no combo, there is no like I tried my best to find the attack cancels or anything to make it quicker, to make it better. I would have to look at the speed runs, but I couldn't find anything, and I don't think they meant it to be very complex. So essentially, I was getting very bored, and it was super repetitive, and it was very unfun. Because sometimes you like evade an attack, the guy with the shield, right? You evade it, you're in its back, and you do the hit. The frame you were supposed to hit him and connect and hurt him, his model will completely rotate and face you with the shield to block. And it makes you understand that you cannot hit him until Cody/Jackie will restrain him with the whip. And I really dislike that coming from games where all those kinds of stuff feel a lot more natural, right? If I think I can do it, I can. And in this, nah, bro, it was not at all the case.
I agree. I mean, I didn't find it horrible, but I didn't like it. I was just like, like it was just like I was just like, I hope the next one is better. That was my thinking. I was just like, again, didn't particularly love it, right? So
What
about you, Jackie?
I don't have a lot of comments on that section, but I can agree with you. I think it's the worst section of the game, and it's like for me it's almost a D tier section because they should have done better with the power ups and the I remember like the final boss fight because we did it yesterday and it was horrible. I just remember being like, ugh, I don't know why this is this, and it had like 3 phases, like the freaking tomato, the potato, and afterwards I don't know what the fuck it was, what vegetable it was, but I just remember that I was like, I don't like what I'm playing right now, and thank God this is not like the rest of the game is completely different and it was much more inspired than this level because this level really sucked, and yeah, that's I mean, it's always fun because you're playing it with 2 players, so you never bored when you're not alone.
The problem is this, right? Every time I hear someone tell me, yo man, you gotta check this game out. It's so fun with friends. Or it's not that good, but it's really fun with friends. Bro, looking at a wall and seeing the paint dry on it
I disagree with that.
with friends is fun. So I don't know, man.
I disagree with that though. I find that there is sometimes games that if you're not doing it with friends, it's not as good, and I think that it's not a bad thing, if a game is more enjoyable with friends, so I disagree with that because there's sometimes like exactly that. It's a shitty game, but with friends it makes it so much funner and it actually becomes enjoyable, right? Because either it's bad or something like that, and you could just.
Well, you see, so
piss
it's
off.
not good, right? Just like when
But
we
we're not saying
went
it's a
and
good
watched
game.
the
Yeah, but it's
Assassin's
not
Creed
a-
movie together.
Yeah,
We had a
exactly.
great time. Was the movie good? Absolutely not.
Exactly that. So why wouldn't you? Yeah, it's a bad game. Doesn't mean that it's not. You don't have to play it, and it's not a valid, let's say, complaint. You know, a valid argument to play a game. Saying, yeah, it's not amazing, but it's fun to play with friends. You know.
Okay, if you're that hurt by that comment,
No,
man,
no, I'm not hurt by it. I'm just saying that I find
it's
there are some
disrespectful,
games.
right? That's what you
No,
find
no,
it.
not disrespectful. Not at all. You can say it. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it's there are some games that are bad, but they become elevated when you play together. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying they're still bad games fundamentally,
So we agree, right?
but yeah, but you can still take some enjoyment out of it. From what I understood, you were saying it's not a valid way to entice somebody to play a game.
I was
And I disagree
saying,
with
I was
that.
saying that if we are arguing about the quality of a game,
Oh, for
and you,
sure. Okay, never mind. Then the way you were
yeah,
saying it was my bad. Then I didn't understand it because from
no,
what
no,
I
but we are,
understood, it was
yeah, we're good, man, we're good. I completely agree with you on that point. Like,
I thought you were saying it's not a valid remark to make to entice somebody to play a game. That's what I understood. But never
yeah,
mind.
yeah,
Yeah, we're
like
good. We're good.
I love bad games too. Like, what's it called? Jackie Chan Adventures on PS2, bro. Like, I think you guys saw the game and I showed it to you and you saw that it was bad, right? But it's quite good too. Like, it's a good bad
Wait, I
game.
don't know what you're saying. I think it's an amazing game.
So you see, I made everybody try out Jackie Chan Advanced Adventure when we have absolutely nothing to do at my place, and I'm like, yo, you want to see a fucking great game? And then they're like, yo, it's that anime we had when we were a kid with Jackie Chan and the talismans and something like that. I'm like, yes, but look at the gameplay, look at the voice acting, look at the animation. It was an experience.
I think we're all agreed that it was the weaker level.
Yeah, yeah. So, do you mind taking us to the final level?
The attic. Tum, tum, tum. How did you guys like this one?
I thought it was absolutely amazing. Like the my favorite part of it all. Yo, but I'm thinking about something because I said my favorite part and then I thought about something that we didn't talk about. There was that those fidget spinners in a stage in a level where it was like,
well, I mentioned it, but we didn't go in too much on it. Yeah.
yo man, those fidget spinners were the wave. I loved using those gadgets, and my character and Jackie's character had different animations when they stood on the fidget spinner, and Jackie's character Cody was cross-legged, like in an Indian position, I think we call it, and it reminded me a lot of in Avatar the move that airbenders do to move in a ball of air.
True.
And May had an animation where she was like on both of her feet with her knees that were bent in a way that was reminding me a bit of Goku on his flying cloud, the flying Nimbus, right? And I was like, bro, this is amazing. And there were air currents and bouncing balls that we could go on top of and move. It was really fun. I loved it. So yeah, back to the attic. My bad.
No problem.
So yeah, my favorite stuff about the attic was the music. The music, in what way? In the way where music is so vast, right? It's such a big thing. How can you turn it into video form, video game form, and in a platforming game of all things, right? They had a mechanic where May could sing, and every time I pressed the sing button, it was synced up with the background track that was playing throughout the level and ever changing, and her voice was an added instrument that would match up to whatever was going on in the track. And I loved that. It was one of my favorite things about the level. And more than that, the fact that they made interactive instruments, and not one, not two, not three. We had like many different ways of experiencing music and creating music to it. I loved it. So it's very different from all the other stages where I was talking about the controls, the gadgets, the gameplay. That was an experience for me.
Yeah, same. It's one of my favorite ones. I find that exactly that there, the music, the style, everything just meshes so well. And
Ju-
there's, I think, in my opinion, one of the best gameplay sequences of the whole game.
Rainbow Road.
No,
It was good though. I loved it.
loved it also. But it's when May is walking to go and sing. I found it. The gameplay was
Riveting. It was a riveting.
it was amazing. It was just, you felt the stress and all of that, culminating in her, the camera changing and everything. Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that just yet, because Jackie didn't share his thought about the whole level.
Was fine. It's not one of my favorites. I think for the whole chapter I would say it's like a B tier level. Like my favorite sequence was definitely the part in quote unquote heaven where they are, looking for the musicians, and they've got to make the clouds tear up with water so that they can find the devils and then beat the shit out of the devil so that they can get the key. Like that for me was the best part of the level. But I mean, the rest with the snakes, microphones, and everything, it wasn't my cup of tea. I just think I like the part when we played the piano and where Momo tried to play chess. But apart from that, yeah.
He said tried to, because that's how it was, man.
So yeah. I mean, the last part where you have to smash the buttons at the right moment with the right configuration. I think that one was cool also. But yeah, definitely for me, it was in heaven. That was the best moment of that level.
I almost forgot about that part. It was good.
Eesh.
It was good. It was good, but it wasn't great. And yeah, I much preferred the parts where we had the instruments and the stuff like that over what we actually played. I think that it was a little bit poor in terms of gameplay. Like you were talking about the snakes, that was pretty bad, man. It wasn't.
Me also, yeah, this is what I thought.
Yeah. So yeah. Kyle, you were talking about your favorite moment, the moment where you experienced riveting gameplay that make you
Yeah,
feel a connection with
yeah,
the Ludo narrative, right? You played the story, like you felt that connection.
yeah. Exactly. It was, like I said, phenomenal gameplay.
I don't know how you guys do it, man. Like I really don't. But at the same time, there was a part in this podcast that we were talking about, right? Where we said that there was a moment where we understood that nothing was outside the realm of possibilities for this game. And I really thought that I wouldn't have that in this game, but they actually put it in the game. And I was frustrated because this is not why I play video games. This is not what I like in video games. And I find it very antithetical to even the word game. But you know, some people like you exist, and Jackie, right? Because he's also very motivated and disciplined lover of a certain man that is named Neil Druckmann, and that
Honestly, I can go all night defending my point of view on that on those types of games. But like
One
for
thing, Jackie, I wanted to say, you saw how they touch pretty much every single types of games,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But wait, one was missing. Maybe because it was trash. Turn-based combat. Look at that. That was missing.
it was there, bro, and we played it.
When did
And
you
we
play it?
played it. It was named chess, bro.
True that. True that. True that. True that.
It was amazing.
Uh,
But you see,
oh
that's the
god.
only turn-based combat that is remotely good.
Well, if you say so.
It's not a real turn-based combat.
What is he talking
Oh.
about, man? It's the most popular classic turn-based game on the planet.
It's a turn-based game. That it's not a turn-based combat game.
Yo, you're taking on an army of either white people
Oh,
or
bro,
black
man.
people, and you have a cavalier, you have a tower, you have a queen, you have a king, you have pawns. You're telling me all of this? Nah, man, nah. I can't agree with you. It is turn-based
whatever,
combat, man.
whatever.
And you're trying to make the
Whatever.
other army surrender.
Swear, there's
Di-
no.
Anyway, I think if we start, we will never finish. And it will just... Because we have to leave all of this for our Last of Us podcast, right? And because it is gonna happen.
Do we though?
Of course we do, because as I don't know if we've said it to the people, but this is episode 23. We have episode 24, and episode 25 is going to be Breath of the Wild podcast. And if we do a Breath of the Wild podcast, we are gonna have to do The Last of Us. And I need to clarify that if we do Last of Us, we have to have finished, all three of us, the game at least once.
That's blackmail.
That's just the simple truth. Simple truth.
Well.
Is this the day? Is this the day that he's finally going to finish up that game by blackmailing him for the podcast?
I think that's what we're gonna have to do.
Well. I am
It's-
not
I
about
mean-
it, but if you guys play Devil May Cry for me, I will have to play this game for you.
Exactly. It's a must.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
So-
I mean, go ahead.
So we'll leave, I think, that argument for next when we do our Last of Us podcast, because I think we're gonna have to reserve like a 4-hour time for all of us to have that conversation and the big debate.
Oh, there is a lot to be said and a lot to say. So get ready, boys. Episode 20, I don't know what. It's gonna be something, man. It's gonna be.
Yeah, because I mean, to put everyone in context, if you don't know by now, this is like the debate around The Last of Us has been like the biggest debate that we've ever had, like the three of us. Like this is the biggest one. This is the hottest one. This is the oldest one also. And yeah, it just makes sense that we're going to talk about it because I mean, Momo won't stop being a bitch about it, and we finish it at one point because it won't stop otherwise.
You are mind slaves to a man named Neil Druckmann. Ah.
Anyways, I think we went through all of it, right? Was there
Yeah.
anything that we've missed that you?
There
you
is
would have
something
liked?
I want to talk about. At the
Go ahead.
very end, after the walking simulator, there is a part where they reconnect together, and then
Yeah.
cue up the cinematic sequence where we go back to the normal bodies and meet up with the daughter, right? But before that, there was a screen, right, where we were both flying and it stopped and it gave us back control for a bit. And not all the control, just the possibility to press a button and hold it or not. And
That's before the walking simulator.
no, that's after. It's the very end where they fly up into the air and embrace each other.
Oh yes.
So yeah, that I think it's amazing that they make you hold the button, right? They tell you hold the button, both of you guys, and you gotta press it and hold, and then you come together. What I find really funny is that in that slight, like minuscule interaction, you could feel because you could see it right on the other side if the guy is pressing the button or not. You could see if the person was not really eager to press it, they wanted you to press it first. And I relate a lot of that on the real life interactions with some people where we're like, man, I don't want to show my vulnerability first. I want them to make the first step. It was
Yeah, kind
very
of.
it was very dumb, right? And very brief, but I connected with that. I was like, the smart bastards, they did it.
Oh, absolutely. Like sometimes just that little things like that can make you quote unquote feel stuff, or not just feel stuff, but experience something in a video game. And it's just look how easy it is. It's just one button you have to press, right? And it made you feel that. So I find that's sometimes the power of video games, where with interaction comes that level where you get maybe attached more to the character, or not just to the character, but to what they do and how they react and everything. And this was an example of it, where one
Exactly.
button made you feel something that in real life.
So before we go on, I have to give a shout out to Budokai Master and Mr. K that are in the comments. I just want to thank you guys for watching. And there's Mr. K is saying that he needs to play The Last of Us Part 2. So he wants it because he wants to finish it, and yeah, he wants to participate in the podcast also. So yeah, definitely. I think this is going to be a great subject to talk about The Last of Us. But as we said, there's going to be a podcast about The Last of Us as a video game. The whole debate that we've had for the past I don't know how many years. But maybe if we have time, we'll have to talk about The Last of Us Part 2 and the whole controversy it spread in the video game industry the last year.
The controversy or the actual game? Because I
think
didn't
both.
play it. I just watched most of it.
Well, maybe we'll keep it as a second homework for you. What do you
Yeah,
think?
but the problem is, I don't have a PS4 and I don't
That can
have
be
a
arranged.
PS5 and I don't
That
have
can
the
be
game
arranged.
also.
That can be arranged, my man. That can be arranged. Don't worry about that. Just worry about sitting down and playing the game until the end before you start criticizing it.
Oh
Do you know how
boy,
to do that?
it's
Sit throughout the full
it's
game and
gonna
then
be
start.
hard. It's gonna be hard.
I'll be there to accompany you if you need any help.
I
But
mean, if you could just like write an email to Neil Druckmann, not to tell him to, commit the irreparable, because I'm not that kind of sad human being that does that with their time, but just tell him, you met a certain Shigeru Miyamoto at E3 and you took a picture with him, you were smiling and all, and I think you did a caption, oh, such a legend, my hero, or something like that. Just tell him, bro, try to learn from the guy, man. Just don't just say he's your hero, right? Try to pick up some of his stuff, cause it's not normal, man. Video games are supposed to be more than that.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's the problem with you. I don't know. I think you'd be the guy that went to an Italian restaurant, went to the chef behind the counter, and you would go. You know what, my Italian pizzaiolo? You know what you should do? You should go to India and learn from Indians how to cook. I don't know, biryani or butter chicken. This
Yeah,
is what
yeah,
you sound like to me.
because Pizzaiolo
That's
guy
how dumb.
from Sicily, or I don't know where he's from, has no business trying to improvise a biryani, bro. He needs to learn.
He's making pizza. What the fuck does he care about butter chicken?
I thought he was making the chicken, bro.
No, he's not making the chicken. That's the point. That's the whole point you're missing. Is that you? It's like you going in a restaurant and you ask for a.
I asked
You
for the
ask for
chicken,
pizza,
bro. I asked for the chicken.
but it doesn't work that way. The restaurant goes like, "We don't serve chicken here. We serve pizza." And you go, "I want my chicken." And that, listen, pal. Either you eat the freaking pizza or you're going elsewhere to eat your chicken. And then you go, "Well, I want to eat anyway." So they bring you the pizza and you go, "Well, this chicken sucks." And then you flip the table and you leave the restaurant. That's how you sound.
We might actually come to a good conclusion. It might be just that.
I see here Mr. K saying Last of Us 1 was good, not gonna lie. So I think we have one person on our side.
Bruh, Mr. K, I love the guy, but he said good. He didn't say great. So you guys need to step down a peg or two. So just so you know that you have no business saying stuff like my favorite game of all time when you played better games. I know you played better games. So
Yeah.
I swear to God, we'll get you.
One day we'll make him play through it and not just read the synopsis on Wiki and say, "Yeah, I watched it."
bro, I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna talk about The Last of Us 1, right? And we're gonna talk about that emotional manipulation that we go through at the beginning of the game. I think you guys got caught really bad into that stuff. And,
I think what we'll do is watch all of them. We're gonna play and have a podcast for each and every one of them.
one of them what?
So one podcast episode for Last of Us 1 and then one for Last of Us 2.
We have
That's
to.
already written.
We have to.
We have to. It's
And
way too long.
one for how you call it? Just for Neil Druckmann.
Nah, I think Neil's gonna come up in both of them, to be honest. And I will have a more favorable eye on him on one podcast. But don't be surprised if I call sick for The Last of Us 1. So
Oh,
Well,
God.
I think we went through everything of It Takes Two,
Mhm.
Any last comments?
Yeah, I want to thank you for recommending this game. It was a great experience. I really enjoyed playing it with Momo. It was a lot of fun. Of course, at the end you go like some levels are better than the others, but that's how games are made, and the overall experience was very great. So yeah, very great recommendation. I recommend it to everyone else, and yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
You said pretty much everything. I think it's a game you can play with anyone that wants to play, because, there are some people that are not interested. Don't force them. But for someone that's interested, no matter their level of play, I believe the game is beatable. So it might take you more time, but you can do it. So, yeah, do it with either a friend, a relative, your girlfriend, boyfriend. Do we have a word for someone that
Partner,
partner?
partner.
There you go. So yeah, man, it gets my seal of approval. It is a good co-op game. It is great at moments. Overall, I would say it is uh, a lot better than most games that come out these days from big studios. So
And this came from, as you guys know, from EA.
Oh yeah.
I
Oh yeah.
think
Imagine
Yesterday.
that.
I think Joseph Fares has his own studio and got a partnership to publish it or to make it with EA, but I don't think it's actually EA, right? I don't think EA is.
EA is the publisher, like in every game,
Yeah, yeah.
So
So EA, if I had to give a shout out to EA, it would be to all the workers, like we saw the QA testers, the people that actually did something for the game, and for the person that gave the approval to actually make it happen. So we got this beautiful game. We got to experience it, to have a lot of fun. It's a game that you can. It's so easily digestible. Like Jackie said at the start of the podcast, we didn't beat this game in a week. How much did it take us, Jackie?
Full month. I don't know in how many hours it sums up to. Like will have to check all the playthroughs, but it's at least 12 hours. To me,
Yeah,
it seems maybe I'm wrong, but
yeah,
it seemed more than 12 hours.
it's between 10 and 16 that
yeah,
the
Yeah, there you
people
go.
say.
yeah. So I think that you can definitely fit in 15 hours of gameplay in a month. It's not too hard. It's actually very digestible, like I said. Levels are structured in a way where they're independent from each another. And yeah, the narrative is not too hard to get back into it, right? So if you guys miss a week or two and get back into the game, you will not feel estranged. Because it happens to me with very complex games where you're like, holy crap, bro. There is a lot of effort to make to get back into the game. But here, no, no, no. Not the case at all. It's a good point for me.
Right. Well, I'm glad you guys enjoy it. And now we're gonna have to go to the next homework. What is the next homework? I think it's Jackie's turn.
Yes, it's my homework. It's my turn. Uh, all right. So we've played games, we've watched movies, and now we're going for a comedy special.
Ooh.
So it's going to be a bit different from what we've already seen. You know, I don't think it's like the best comedy I've ever seen, but it's definitely the most unique I've seen in my life. So that's why I'm recommending it. So it's called Repertoire by James A. Caster. So it's a Netflix special. It's four parts. Every part is like about 1 hour, a bit less than 1 hour, and it's just it's one after the other. But as I said, play the first one if you like it. go to the second one. If you don't like it, go to the third one, since I think it's the best one of them all. So yeah.
But if you didn't like the first and then really
Mhm.
like the third, do you go back at the second
Go
or
back.
go to
Yeah,
the
go back
fourth?
to the second. Go back to the second and then watch the fourth.
This is absolutely crazy, my man. What a way to watch and enjoy the special. But I actually will hold you on that. So I'm eager to discover this guy. Never heard of him. Never
Yeah,
listened
'cause
to
I
his
think
stuff. So
yeah, because I think it's a very peculiar type of humor. So just watch the first one, and then if you like it, if you don't like it, just watch the third one. And if you don't like it at that point, I don't think you'll like the second and the fourth. So you can just you have enough material with those 2 hours to have your first impression of him.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have a like a previous experience with the guy Kyle?
No, no, not at all. I just met him. I didn't meet him.
You
Sorry.
met him, bro. What? Could you present
No,
us to
no, no.
him?
I'm sorry. I just discovered him when Jackie mentioned it there, and yeah, I'm excited to listen to it.
Awesome.
It was the first time I ever saw his face.
Awesome. So, yeah, remember that this is going to be episode 24 and episode 25 is Breath of the Wild. So, if you guys want to subscribe to the channel that I'll post right in the chat to stay up to date with everything that we do at the Container Podcast, the VODs. Like we said, we did an entire playthrough of It Takes Two. So if you guys want to have a look at how it went, those crazy sequences we were talking about, you will have everything you need in the Container Podcast channel. So here it is in the chat. I hope that you guys enjoyed tonight's podcast. And yeah.
I think have a good evening.
Take care, my boys. Eat well,
All right.
Take care.
drink lots of water, sleep well. And yeah, man.
Somebody's requesting a face reveal when you reach 1K.
Yeah, Dragon Quest. You know I love you, man, because you represent a series that is near to my heart. But I don't think you guys are ready for the face reveal. Maybe 1K. Yeah, okay. But don't hold me up on that. I'll think about it. I said okay. I'll think about it.
All right. Good. Bye bye.
Bye, everybody. Take care.